Today I'm going to share with you the top 5 reasons why Oviedo keeps popping up whenever you're searching Google for best places to live in Florida. I'm Kristine McKinley with the Real Estate Chicks, and the reason why I can give this list is because first of all, I grew up in Oviedo, moved here when I was 12, so I did go to the public schools in Oviedo. I also was super involved in sports, the Little League, the travel ball teams, all that good stuff. Very plugged in with my schools growing up, and I even went to the University of Central Florida, so I can definitely talk about all of Oviedo and UCF, which backs up right to Oviedo. In this video, you might find out some things that you want to know about Oviedo before choosing a neighborhood for your family, before making the big move. We also help about 30 families a year either upsize, downsize, or move in and out of Oviedo. So we have definitely heard and lived the pros and cons of being in Oviedo. Truly, the number one reason why Oviedo probably keeps popping up on your list is because the school zones are just fantastic. We have so many options. We have lots of elementary, middle, and high schools, and they really are all ranked really good currently and even throughout the past years. A lot of our public schools have IB programs, magnet programs, STEM programs, all that good stuff, CTE programs. And what's really cool about Seminole County is that maybe your child's school doesn't offer that, but you can bus them over to another public school after school to take some of those classes or get into those programs and labs and all that good stuff. So you're not even really just limited to your school zone. Seminole County does have a choices program that you can look into a little bit more. So let's say you are not zoned for the school that offers the exact program that your kid really wants to be into. You can actually have your kid go into that school if they have openings, which I've heard that they typically do. I can't say for in the future, but that choices program is really, really cool and offers some flexibility, especially if you're just not wanting to move. If you currently live within Oviedo and you don't want to move just for the school zone, or maybe your other kids are younger or older and they're really plugged into their school. So that is a really, really great option so that you don't have to be stuck in a particular school if your kid really is looking forward to a program at another school. For example, I know that Seminole High School, which is located in Sanford, has some sort of like a healthcare school or dual enrollment lab work, and that's a magnet program that your kid, depending on if they go to other schools, they can also enroll in that after school. But if your kid is really interested in healthcare, maybe that Seminole High School would be a really good fit for them, and you're able to pick that high school even if you do not live within the Sanford zones. I know that schools like Oviedo High School have a bioscience technology program as well, whereas other schools like Winter Springs High School has an IB program. If you're interested in this and want to learn a little bit more, I would look up SCPS, which stands for Seminole County Public Schools Magnet Program, and just kind of search around and find out maybe your kid is interested in something and they need to get involved and kind of learn more about that throughout their high school career. I know that there are these programs located throughout Seminole County for technology, for bioscience, for cybersecurity. So there's some really, really great programs that are very specialized and just very unique, and you have to soak these things in whenever you live in Seminole County. And all wrapped up in the school zones is, of course, really amazing sports programs. There are youth sports programs like Little League, Babe Ruth, and tons of travel teams that the schools will really band together and just try to get kids involved. The STEM programs are incredible. I mean, the schools really try to enrich the kids with absolutely everything they need to be very well-rounded. And that is truly what I think people call me about the most. They hear that Oviedo has the best school programs and they just want to get their kids involved. And then once they know that Oviedo has the best schools, then they want to hear about the real estate all around it. So schools come first, and that's probably why it's popping up on your search engines. And I'm here to tell you about the houses, obviously, in another video. Continuing why Oviedo is one of the best and most searchable on Google whenever you're looking up for best places to live in Central Florida is the low crime. Now, as a realtor, I can't really get into specifics on crime. You do have to kind of look that up yourself, but I can tell you that the Oviedo police is amazing and they're very, very involved in the community. I know that one of the big leaders in the Oviedo police also helped to bring the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida to Oviedo. So Oviedo has a really fantastic new Boys and Girls Club. They're very, very plugged in. The Oviedo Police Foundation and the firemen there are just fantastic. There is a lot of fundraising around them, and they're very, very plugged into the community. Another thing I like about Oviedo is a lot of these neighborhoods are planned unit developments, which means that it's not just kind of like an area where you stumble on just a bunch of houses without sidewalks or a gated or anything. A lot of these neighborhoods are gated, which I don't know if gated necessarily correlates with safety, but what I'm trying to say is that they have sidewalks, they have cul-de-sacs, and a lot of that is fantastic for the kids to play and the kids to be outside. Even if they aren't gated, a lot of these Oviedo communities have sidewalks and cul-de-sacs, and at a bare minimum, they have playgrounds. Most of the communities have pools and all that good stuff, but a lot of them definitely have playgrounds or tennis courts or basketball courts. So whenever you move into Oviedo, it's really cool to kind of talk with your realtor about if you guys want to leave the neighborhood, what does your after school look like if your kids aren't in sports? And a lot of these Oviedo neighborhoods are just geared around kind of being able to stay in the neighborhood, and there's a lot of options for kids to just be close to home after school. Reason number 3 why Oviedo probably keeps popping up on your search of best places to live in Central Florida is because we have so many parks. Actually, Seminole County as a whole, I believe there's some sort of statistic. It's like has the most parks per capita than anywhere else in Central Florida. And I absolutely believe that. I just feel like there's parks absolutely everywhere. There's Round Lake Park, which is really close to Jackson Heights Middle School. There is Riverside Park, which is really, really close to Twin Rivers, which is a huge neighborhood that doesn't necessarily have many amenities because it's such a big neighborhood. So there are just so many great parks. Center Lake Park, another one that's probably on the newer side. Boston Hill Park. There are tons of parks that kids can play in and families can play in, not even just kids, but especially Riverside Park has tennis courts, pickleball. They have just like an open field. Boston Hill Park has a baseball field, so that's really cool. There's always people there playing pickup games and whatnot. And then the Little Big Econ, of course, has really amazing trails that we love to take the dogs on as well. But this isn't even just for hiking. It's flat, but people here still call it hiking. It's not a mountain, but it's still hiking. Another thing that's really fun is kayaking. The Little Big Econ has a few drop spots for kayaking, and I feel like that's always really busy on the weekends. But it is definitely very hot, and you have to prepare, especially in the summer. It rains pretty much every single day at like 3 p.m., like an insane thunder and lightning storm for like 30 minutes, and then it's beautiful again. But the other months are absolutely perfect to just be outside the whole year round. It's never too cold to be outside. So I love that about Oviedo, and that is probably why it's also on your Google searches. Reason number 4 why Oviedo pops up on your best places to live search is just its location in general. You are pretty close to downtown Orlando, but you don't really feel like it. You're probably 25 minutes from downtown Orlando. You are close to UCF, which is very popular. You are close to the beaches. You're like 45 minutes, 50 minutes from the beaches. You are close to the 417, which is a highway that takes you all over Central Florida, connects you to the 408, connects you to the 528. But also within the last, I would say 10 years or so, you do not even have to leave Oviedo. You kind of used to have to leave Oviedo because it felt like a small town that was like a little bit separated from downtown Orlando and Winter Park and all of that stuff. But now a bunch of Winter Park restaurants, a bunch of Maitland restaurants, a bunch of downtown Orlando restaurants are coming to Oviedo. So you don't even have to leave Oviedo anymore. It's just super convenient. They have a Sprouts. I think that they're getting a Trader Joe's. I don't know if that's just a rumor. They have Pilates studios. They have F45s. They have Orange Theories. They have absolutely everything that you need. And to be honest, that is a newer thing to Oviedo. That wasn't always the case. So what's also cool is that all of these buildings, all of the Starbucks, all of the Chipotles, all the Bank of Americas, they're all new. And Oviedo also has really beautiful new coffee shops. Again, everything's just new because it just didn't exist. Oviedo was like all orange groves until like 30 years ago. So everything's pretty new and beautiful, and you do not have to leave Oviedo to go anywhere. But if you do have to leave Oviedo, again, everything is still pretty close by. Oviedo also has 2 hospitals. We have the Oviedo Medical Center, and we also have Advent Health. So that is absolutely fantastic. There's lots of like center cares and urgent cares and all that good stuff for emergencies. But we do have those 2 hospitals, which are amazing to have in town. And back to not having to leave Oviedo, we also have the new to Oviedo on the Park, which is just the cultural hub, I would say. And if you have not looked up Oviedo on the Park, I think I have a few other videos on it because I just think it's so amazing. There are some single family homes that you can walk to from Oviedo on the Park, lots of townhome communities, lots of apartment communities. So if you're coming to Oviedo and you're not really ready to buy a house yet, you should check out the Strand, which is an apartment complex. I think they do 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. And it is walkable to Oviedo on the Park. It's basically the closest housing to Oviedo on the Park. And that would be a really fun way to get to know Oviedo, because Oviedo on the Park, that's where the weekly food trucks are. That's where all of the Christmas celebrations are. Every holiday celebrations, they do a bark and brew. So it's really just the best place to get Oviedo together. And it's really cool to not have to drive and find parking there. Even though parking is pretty good, the lots are pretty good, it would just be nice to that's a good way to get to know Oviedo. And of course, there's also just fantastic gyms. I know that there is a Crunch. I know that there is a Lifetime Fitness. Wait, no, it's not Lifetime. Lifetime is like ultra luxury. Lifestyle Fitness? I think it's called Lifestyle Fitness. It's right at Oviedo on the Park. But they also have really amazing private gyms like BioFit, which is state of the art. I mean, there's really nothing else like BioFit in all of Central Florida. So that's really cool that they chose to open up in Oviedo. That just shows like the growth and the expansion that's coming to Oviedo. I could go on and on, but basically what you need to know for the sake of this video is that you do not have to leave Oviedo for pretty much anything at this point. And the 5th reason, we have reached the finale, the grand finale of why Oviedo is one of the most searchable places ever to live. Oviedo has absolutely any type of housing that you could ever possibly need. We have houses on acreage. We have townhome communities. We have 2 or 3 story townhome communities. We have condos. We have tons and tons of apartments. We have new construction. We have the old charm. We have absolutely everything you could ever want in it. So if you have your sights on Oviedo, there is also the type of house that you want. The townhomes start anywhere from the mid 300s, I would say, to the new construction ones are selling like low 500s if you get all the bells and whistles. So that's a fantastic price point right there just to get going. And then the new construction in Oviedo can hit over $1 million. There are some fantastic new construction that are kind of your more cookie cutter neighborhoods if you're just looking for like a simple house, not a big yard. And then there's some other areas of Oviedo that these single family homes are selling for up to $1 million or more, and you get about an acre of land with that. And I will say the housing market is very, very strong here in Oviedo, mainly because a lot of people do move to Oviedo once they find videos like this that completely sell them on moving to Oviedo. And just again, Oviedo pops up on the searches as like the #1 place to live in Central Florida. So when people move to Oviedo and Oviedo is in high demand, that is going to keep the prices up there, keep a stable price, I would say. Oviedo definitely doesn't have the dips that maybe other places of Central Florida would be. So I would say it's also a really good investment because you know that your money is safe in a place that is constantly growing. It's beautiful, it's evolving. The parks are secured. The school zones are always going to be great because that's just something that's happened in Oviedo for a very, very long time. The real estate is beautiful. The community is beautiful. It's very well taken care of. It just has a great reputation, very easy to get to. And Oviedo in general just has a fantastic reputation for living. A great way to kind of weed out where to live in Oviedo and maybe not where to live in Oviedo is to contact a realtor that's lived in Oviedo like me, and I can help guide you through where your family would have the best success in Oviedo. Respond below or send me an email if this was helpful or if you have any other questions or anything else based on Oviedo that I should make a video about that you want to know more about. That would be fantastic. Bye.